Hello, my name is Oiza. Welcome to Cable Plus Property. At Cable Plus Property, our aim is to make sure that you're sensitized and enlightened about everything you need to know on your land and landed property, particularly about documentation, protection, processing planning documents, and getting your property protected by the government agency at your land of residence or wherever your property is located. We want you to have access to information and all that you need to know about property and land. And so in this program, we'll be having town planners and professionals in the built environment, particularly in Lagos State, as our case study to come talk to you and also enlighten you about everything. In this video, I'll be having a question and answer session with the National President of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Town Planner Olutoyin Adedamola. Come with me. Today we're here to celebrate our father, a renowned professional in the field of town planning, a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, former commissioner in the Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, and the current national president of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, in person of Town Planner Olutoyin Adedamola Ayinde, for his immense contribution to the field of planning and to acquire from his wealth of knowledge through this medium by educating the public on some mind-boggling issues on planning as it relates to the advantages of having a planning permit before construction, of which most developers detest. Welcome, sir. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, so could you please explain to us the difference between a physical development plan and a planning permit?
Okay. The physical development plan is the framework itself, is the blueprint. So for a city, you have a physical development plan. For a section of a city, you have a physical development plan. As a matter of fact, they're in hierarchies. If we're looking at the National Urban and Regional Planning Law, it prescribes that there will be a national physical development plan, a regional plan, master plan. Master plans too are physical development plans, sector plans, district plans, local plans, neighborhood plans. All of them are physical development plans. They are just telling us how an area should develop, how it will eventually turn out. But a planning permit is what you need for individual units of structures that will eventually populate the area of the development plan. Did you get that? Okay. Within a development plan, there is provision for many buildings to come up. To put up any of those buildings, you need a planning permit. Without a planning permit, you cannot put up the building. But the planning permit will be in consonance with what the physical development plan has prescribed to happen in that area.
So should we then conclude that for any development to take place, there must be a planning permit?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because if there is no planning permit, in the eyes of the law and the eyes of the government, it's an illegal development which can be removed by government to enforce the law. Because if you permit it to happen, it means you are encouraging illegality. And because planning thrives on rule of law, so everyone needs to have their planning permits.
Now, since the law requires planning permits to be obtained before development can take place, what are the documents required?
Well, I'll tell you some basic things, but I think it differs from place to place. When I say from place to place, what Lagos State requires may be different from what Ogun State requires. But basically, before you do any building permit, one of the things you need is your building plan. But you can't get a building plan if you don't have a survey plan. And the survey plan is the description of your site that is prepared by a licensed surveyor. And then when you have your survey plan, you need to get your architect to design your building. When you have your building plan, I believe if you are doing more than a bungalow, you are going 2, 3 floors or more, then you need the services of a structural engineer. If you want a very good building, it's better for you to engage the services of electrical engineers and mechanical engineers so that they can give you the idea of how you need to electrify your house and all the fittings. And I'll tell you why. You know, there are people who have had accidents in their own building, constructed by themselves, because maybe when they were constructing or when they were building, they did not involve the right professionals. So for example, they need to power an equipment on this side of the building, and there is only one socket on that side of the building, and then you have an extension cable to cross over to that side so they could power the equipment. And then the man is moving in his own house. He has forgotten that there's a cable going that way, and he will stumble and then get injured. But if he had engaged the services of an electrical engineer, he probably would have located as many sockets as possible so that he wouldn't need the service of any extension cable. So he needs all of that. And then he needs to be seen to be doing his civic duties. He has his tax clearance. And then somebody wants to know whether that land truly belongs to him. So apart from his survey plan is supposed to have a land document, title document, which can be a CFO, that's certificate of occupancy, conveyance in those days, and some people still use the conveyance up till now. And then in some places, receipts with stamp duty are accepted. Those are basically what he needs. But also it is important, and that's why it's important to get information from town planners or from the government sector of planning, that is the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development in Lagos. I don't know what it is in other states, because there are people who purchase land where they can't really develop what they intend to. So first, it's important to check if what you want to develop is permissible where you want it. If not, there may be some other checks, you know. For example, if it's close to a high tension cable, you know, high tension wire, there are distances. If it's close to a railway line, if it's close to pipeline, and things like that. But I've told you the basic things that you need for planning permits.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tpl Property. Also, follow and like our posts on Instagram and Facebook at Tpl Property. So we come away again next time. My name is Oiza, and this is Tpl Property.